Okay, these are your directions for how to make this stair step card. You could make this into a birthday cake, whatever you want to make it into. You can see I wrote Class of 2021 Troy. You could write Happy Birthday, Wedding Cake, endless possibilities. But this one has 4 steps that poke out, and this is what the inside would look like when it's finished. You're going to have an outside cover and you'll have your inside part. Okay? So the first step to do this is you're going to take your cardstock and you're going to fold it in half. This one is getting folded in half hamburger way. You can see it's that way. It's roughly 14 centimeters this direction and I don't know, 21.5 centimeters this direction. So you have your paper folded in half, nice crisp fold, make sure it's pushed down nice and tight, and we're going to be working on the folded edge. This is the folded edge of our paper. This is not folded. You are going to be using centimeters. You do want a pencil. You will need some scissors for this project. Okay, so the first step we're going to do is we're going to measure from this edge over, start at 0, and we're going to measure over to 4 centimeters and put a mark. So this is a 4 centimeter gap. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So since this ends at 21.5, we're going to go to 17.5. So this is also 4 centimeters. And you're going to put a mark. Okay? Then you're going to take your ruler and you're going to rotate it 90 degrees. And you're going to line up the very edge of your ruler right there and make sure that this line is even. It helps make things straight with that mark. And we want to draw a 4 centimeter line. So we're going up to 4 centimeters. And there's a train coming this way. So 4 centimeters, and then we're going to do the same thing at this mark. So we line up the ruler with the edge of our card so we know it's straight. And we're going to go to 4 centimeters. Oh, broke my pencil. We're going to go to 4 centimeters. So now we have 4 centimeters this direction, 4 centimeters this direction, 4 centimeters this direction, and 4 centimeters this direction. Now we're going to connect these 2 lines, and you're going to draw a dotted line. So we're going to use the line 0, and this should be close to 13.5. If you have it lined up. And then you're going to draw a dotted line for this, dash dotted, a line that will tell you to not cut. Oh, I ran out of lead. A line that will tell you to not cut at this point. Okay. New writing utensil from Miss Greer. Make sure you're doing this in pencil. I don't have any more pencils right here, so we're going to use pen. And there's the train. Okay. So dash line. Dash line. Okay, so this is what it should look like so far. Now, we are going to line up our ruler with the 0. It should be about 13.5 on the other side, and we're gonna measure in 2 centimeters. So we're gonna put a mark here for 2. And since this ends at 13.5, we'll go over 2 centimeters and we're going to put a mark at 11.5. So this should be 2 centimeters from here to here and 2 centimeters from here to here. Okay, now you're going to rotate your ruler again and we're going to measure up 3 centimeters. So we're going to line it up with our mark. We're going to make sure that this line is with the line we drew, and we're going to go up 3 centimeters. So we're going to here, 3 centimeters. Just like that. So it's a 3 centimeter line. And then we're going to do the same thing over on this side. Okay, 3 centimeter mark. Now we're going to go across again. So we're going to connect these two together. This should equal about 9.5. Okay, you can see we're lined up even here, and this is also going to be a dashed or dotted line. So dashed or dotted line, and go across. So this is what it should look like so far. Now we are going to do our third tier. So we're going to line up our ruler, we're going to measure, and this is 9.5, making sure it's right along the line. This time we're going to measure in 1.5 centimeters. So 1 centimeter and half is right here. We're going to measure over 1.5, so this is at 9.5, that's half a centimeter. There's 1 centimeter and we want 1.5, so we're going to go into the 8 and we're going to put a mark. So this gap right here is 1.5 centimeters. This gap is 1.5 centimeters. Now you're going to rotate your ruler. We're going to draw up, this time, 2 centimeters. 2 centimeters. So right there. We're going to do the same thing over on this side. We're going to draw up 2 centimeters. Right there. This is a 2 centimeter. 2 centimeter. Then we are going to connect these, and this should equal 6.5. And we are going to do dashed lines again. So dash, 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 dash. Okay. Now we're going to rotate our ruler again. Oh wait, no we're not. Leave it here. We are going to measure in 1.5 centimeters again. So 1.5 is here. This is at 6.5, so we're going to go into 5 and put our mark. So this is again 1.5 centimeters in that gap. You're going to rotate your ruler. And this time we are going to draw up a little bit less than 1.5. We don't want to go all the way to 1.5. You want to go to like 4 or 3. Doesn't really matter. Just don't go all the way to 1.5. Your card will look better if you don't. So I'm going 1.4, 1.3. Roughly the same spot. Let's say 1.3 centimeters. And then we're going to connect this again with a dashed line. So this is what your finished product should look like. So you can see we have the sides and then we have our crosses. What you need to remember, do not cut dashes. Do not cut dashed lines. By the way, this is the inside of your card. You aren't going to see this when you're done. You're going to glue a cover on. Now you're going to take your scissors. And you're not going to cut anything out of the card. We are going to cut some lines. And it's all about folding and cutting. So if you look at our original example here, get a color paper so you can see it. If I were to fold this flat, the entire paper is still there. So this is just all about cutting and folding. And for this card, you're going to need to cut and then fold, and then cut and then fold, and then cut and then fold. So back to our created one. We're going to first cut these 2 lines right here. So take your scissors and you want to go all the way up to that dashed line. So we have one cut and then we have our other cut. Okay, so I've made 2 cuts right here. Now we're going to fold along that edge. And sometimes it's helpful if you take your ruler and line it up with that edge and then bend up your paper up against your ruler. So that helps get it straight. And then take your ruler out of the way and then crease it nice and hard. And then you're going to flip it over and fold it back the other direction, nice and firmly. Then you're going to open your card and you're going to pop that out the other direction. So this is the inside. This is the nice side of your card. So keep it looking nice. So you're going to fold it in and fold it down. So now your card looks like this. There's that part in the inside. Now here's where things get a little bit tricky. We are going to cut on these lines, but we only want to cut this top edge. We don't want to cut down here. Don't cut here. Bad. You're only going to cut right here and right here. So when I cut, my scissors, you can see this. My scissors are going to go in this gap, okay? They're not going to cut this bottom edge at all. So I'm going to put my scissors in the gap and I'm going to cut on this line. And remember, as I cut, I'm not cutting this. I'm only cutting this top part. And I cut straight up that line, well, as straight as possible. And then you're going to take your ruler again, and line it up with that edge. And we're going to fold it up. Move the ruler out of the way. Press it down nice and firm. And then fold back the other way, which is a little bit harder. Now you're going to pop this part out as well. So we're going to pop this one out as well. And you can see there's a faint little crease right there. You want that to go this direction. See? Right there. So then when you look on the inside, you have step 1, step 2. Well, step 1, step 2. And we're going to fold it down nice and creased. So, looks like this. Now the next step, again, we are only going to be cutting along this. Well, not along this edge. We're cutting this direction, but on this edge. So I'll be cutting right here. I don't cut this. These stay correct. So we're going to cut right here, and we're going to cut right there. And I'm not going to cut these at all. So I'm just going to go cut and cut. And then you're going to fold it up. Well, you could have used the roller to fold it, but this one's pretty easier. And then you're going to bend it back a little bit, and then you're going to pop it in. And fold that down. So then it's just like this. And if you look on the other side, we have our first step, our second step, and now our third step. Now we have one last one to cut. So once again, we're only going to be cutting up along this thin edge. We're not cutting here, here, or here. 2 cuts. Last 2 cuts. So we have 1, 2. And you're going to fold it up. And then you're going to pop it in the other direction. Like, bloop, pop it in. So now, when you look at the other side, we have step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. Just like that. And now your job is to decorate it. So you can lay it nice and flat. And you can write on these. You can shade them in, color them, polka dots, decorate your card however you want to based on who you're giving it to. Thank you, congratulations. Maybe you could make this into a flower bouquet, trees. You can make this whole thing into a tree if you want to. Put some fruit on it. This is where you get to be creative and you need to be creative. Okay, decorate it nicely. I mean, all I did was write Class of 2021 Troy. And then you could decorate it with Trojan things, the Troy Way. However you want to decorate it. That is your choice. And you're writing on this side because remember, this is the inside. This will get covered up. Like, eventually, you're going to glue this on. Not today. Not today. Don't get glue happy today. You're just going to put this on. Eventually. That's later in the week. So, go ahead and decorate away.